The night on the alien planet of Varnek was never truly dark. 3 moons bathed the landscape in alternating shades of silver and violet, casting long, shifting shadows over the jagged terrain. Jacob Trent had grown used to it over the past 6 months working as a mechanic for the Federation's forward outpost. Nights meant relative quiet, no repair requests, no captains yelling about broken engines or faulty life support systems. He liked the nights. Until tonight. He was on his way back from scavenging old scrap near the eastern ridge when he heard something. A voice. Not human. It was soft, melodic, but carried an edge of panic. He turned toward the sound, one hand on the stun pistol holstered at his hip. Varnek wasn't exactly a safe planet. Too many things with claws and teeth, and most of them didn't care if you were alien or human. A figure stumbled into the moonlight. Jacob froze. It was a girl, or at least she looked like one. Tall, slender, skin faintly iridescent like polished stone, glowing patterns running along her arms like bioluminescent tattoos. Her eyes were huge, reflecting the moon's light, and her dark hair was braided with silver threads. She saw him and hesitated, as though trying to decide whether he was threat or savior. Hey, Jacob said cautiously, raising his free hand to show he wasn't hostile. You lost or something? The alien girl tilted her head. You human? Her accent was strange, syllables rolling as if the words were made for a different tongue. Last I checked, he said dryly. She glanced behind her nervously, then back at him. Need direction. Outpost. Federation? Her words were halting, like she only half knew the language. Jacob studied her for a moment. She wasn't dressed like any of the colonists or the Federation crew. Her outfit looked ceremonial, flowing layers of deep blue fabric fastened with what looked like bone clasps. Yeah, he said finally. I'm headed there now. It's about 6 clicks west. I can take you. Her shoulders relaxed slightly. Grateful. They started walking together under the pale light of the moons. At first, neither spoke. Jacob kept glancing at her when he thought she wouldn't notice. There was something strange about her, besides the obvious alien features. She moved like someone used to command, head high, steps graceful despite her exhaustion. After a while, curiosity got the better of him. So, what brings you out here? Not exactly tourist season. She looked at him, expression unreadable. Was meeting someone, did not arrive. Path became unclear. Jacob frowned. Unclear? She nodded. Ground moved. Markers gone. Ah. That made sense. Varnek was geologically unstable. Sometimes entire trails shifted overnight thanks to the weird tectonics. Lucky you ran into me then, he said. She made a sound, almost like a laugh, but softer, as if she wasn't used to laughing. They walked in silence again until the outpost lights came into view, a faint glow on the horizon. Then she stopped. Jacob turned. Something wrong? She studied him for a long moment, then reached into the folds of her clothing and pulled out a card. It was metallic, faintly glowing, etched with intricate geometric patterns that seemed to shift when he looked too closely. Take, she said. Jacob blinked. What is it? Key, she said simply. Reward. For guiding. Before he could protest, she pressed it into his hand. Her fingers were surprisingly warm. Then, without another word, she turned and walked toward the outpost gates, where the guards were already rushing to meet her. Jacob looked down at the strange card. It had no writing, no obvious tech interface, just those shifting patterns. Something about it made his skin prickle. He didn't see her again that night. But the next day, strange things started happening. First, the card wouldn't leave his pocket. He tried putting it on his workbench, but every time he checked, it was back with him, like it wanted to stay close. Second, the pattern sometimes changed when he wasn't looking, subtle differences he couldn't quite name. And third, people started noticing. Hey, Trent, one of the engineers said, peering at it during lunch. Where'd you get that? Looks old. Like, pre-Federation old. Jacob shrugged. Some alien girl gave it to me. The engineer stared. And you just kept it? Why not? Because stuff like that usually belongs to people who don't appreciate theft. She gave it to me, Jacob said firmly. The engineer didn't look convinced. 2 nights later, the dreams began. Jacob found himself standing before a massive door made of the same material as the card. Symbols glowed faintly on its surface. A voice, feminine, melodic, whispered words he didn't understand. When he woke, the card was warm in his hand, though he was sure he'd left it on the table. By the third dream, he realized the symbols were slowly teaching him their meaning. Like a puzzle his brain was solving piece by piece. The door wanted him to come. He finally saw the alien girl again on the 4th day. She appeared at the edge of the outpost like a shadow, slipping past the guards as if she owned the place. When she found him, her eyes went straight to the card. You have it, she said simply. Yeah, Jacob said slowly. It's been weird. Keeps giving me dreams. She nodded, as if this were expected. It calls. Calls to what? To what sleeps beneath, she said softly. That was not reassuring. She studied him again, those luminous eyes unreadable. You guided me. Now it guides you. I didn't sign up for any guiding after that, Jacob muttered. But curiosity burned hotter than fear. What's behind the door? Her gaze flicked toward the eastern hills, where the ground shimmered faintly under the moons. Power. Knowledge. My people sealed it long ago. Only Keybearer may open. Jacob swallowed. And that's me? She inclined her head. Why me? You helped, she said simply, as if that explained everything. They left the outpost together that night. Jacob wasn't sure why he agreed. Maybe it was the dreams. Maybe it was the way she spoke, like every word carried ancient weight. Or maybe he was just tired of fixing broken engines when something bigger called to him. The trek took hours. They crossed jagged ridges and valleys where strange plants glowed like embers. The moons shifted overhead, painting the world in silver and violet stripes. Finally, they reached it. The door from his dreams. It rose from the earth like a cliff face, seamless and impossibly smooth. The patterns on its surface pulsed faintly, echoing those on the card. Jacob's hand trembled as he pressed the keycard against it. The patterns flared to life. With a sound like mountains grinding, the door split open. Cold air rushed out, carrying a scent like ancient stone and lightning. Beyond lay a vast chamber filled with towering structures, glowing orbs, and something at the center, a pedestal holding a crystal that pulsed like a heartbeat. The alien girl stepped forward, on her eyes. It lives, she whispered. What is it? Jacob asked. Memory, she said. Of my people. Before the fall. She turned to him, expression unreadable. Now it is yours, too. Jacob stared at the glowing crystal, realization dawning slowly. The keycard wasn't just a reward. It was a choice. They spent hours inside the chamber. The crystal responded to their presence, projecting images, stars, cities of impossible beauty, knowledge pouring like rivers of light. Jacob barely understood a fraction of it. But he felt it seeping into him, rewriting something deep inside. When they finally left, the door sealed behind them, the keycard dissolving into dust in his hand. The alien girl looked at him with something like respect. Now you carry what was lost, she said softly. Use it well, human. And before he could ask what that meant, she was gone into the moonlight, leaving him alone with a head full of alien secrets and a future that suddenly felt very, very big.